Building your own speakers is awesome. It's a fun and rewarding hobby. You should definitely give it a try because you can build something that sounds better and costs less than something you could go out and just buy. I built this speaker right here from a kit. This is one of the tower speakers in my home theater system. And because I got to put my own finish on it and create a unique look, these are one of a kind. Nobody anywhere in the world has a set just like these. But sometimes it's just not worth it. Let me show you what I mean. Check out this kit right here. This is the Overnight Sensations. It's a very popular kit. One thing that really makes it stand out are these really cool copper colored woofers. This kit has a reputation for amazing sound. It definitely punches above its weight. And if you want to build your own speaker, this is a great place to start. But there's a big problem with this kit. It's just too expensive. The company that makes the actual speakers used in this kit sell two different amplified versions that, from what I can tell, contain the exact same drivers as the Overnight Sensations kit. I've reviewed those speakers on my channel before and they're awesome. They've got a DSP amplifier inside the box that divides the signal between the tweeter and the woofer, and they're literally just a few bucks more than the DIY kit. But the kit is just part of the expense of building a kit. You need supplies and tools to assemble it, things like wood glue and clamps. The kit comes with a knockdown MDF enclosure, so you don't need a saw, but you have to do something about that ugly MDF. You've got to paint it or apply some expensive veneer so you can stain it. So if you're looking for something to put on a bookshelf, in the kitchen, on your desk at work, in the bedroom, there's really no point in buying the kit when you can buy pre-built speakers with Bluetooth and a built-in amplifier. Now, the downside to having speakers with a built-in amplifier is you can't use them for things like surround sound speakers in your home theater. But if that's your goal, I still can't recommend the kit. And this right here is why. This is the Oasis, and it is the non-amplified version of the amplified speakers this company also sells. I can't verify that it's the exact same parts internally as the Overnight Sensations kit, but it appears to use the same woofer and probably the same tweeter, and right now it's cheaper than the kit. So why would you buy the kit and build the kit if you can just buy the speakers for less? First thing that jumps out, these speakers are heavy for their size. That's a good thing. A good heavy enclosure is less likely to resonate. The front has some cloth grills that you can pop off to show off that cool copper colored cone.
Very distinctive style.
On the back you get these big giant beefy speaker terminals. These are complete overkill for speakers of these size. Some inexpensive push terminals will get the job done. I think the speakers look really elegant. I love that copper cone, but so what if they look good if they don't sound good? So let's start off by busting out some test equipment and see what's going on. While I'm setting up that test gear, I want to take a second to thank HIVI-Swans for sending these out for me to review. And I want to thank all of my patrons over on Patreon, with a big shout out to $25 and up patrons, Jonathan, Joaquin, JD America, Timothy, and Bo. I'm not kidding when I say that I could not run this YouTube channel without direct support from the patrons. So if you like what you see, head over to Patreon and join them. Here's our test result. What you have on the screen is a thing called an impedance sweep. This can tell you a whole lot about a speaker. First thing here, we see this dip that's centered at about 64 hertz. That is the port tuning frequency. So that port on the back is tuned to 64 hertz. That gives us information about how low this thing can play. And what it tells me immediately is we really should pair this with a subwoofer because it's not going to hit the ultra low frequencies, which is exactly what you should expect from a speaker with a 4-inch driver. Another cool feature here is that this sweep can tell us if there's any kind of weird resonance that might adversely color the sound. If you look along this curve, see if there are any bumps or ripples in that impedance sweep, and in this case there are none. That may not seem like a big deal, but it is. That tells us that the speaker itself is well built with adequate bracing, and that's good for sound quality. Since there are two speakers, we've got to test them both. And the second speaker is identical to the first. Well, how do they sound? Let's hook them up and find out. So here is my subjective assessment. It is my opinion that they sound great. Nothing jumps out at me as wrong with the way these things sound, except for one thing, and that's what you should have expected. With 4-inch drivers, there's just not enough low frequency for my taste, which is exactly what I said about the powered version. But the cool thing about this one, that makes it better in my opinion. You can pair this with a subwoofer and solve that problem. So what I'm going to do here is grab this little micro amplifier. I'll be sure to give you a link to it down in the video description. This is a really cool amp. It's got a right and left stereo channel and the third output for a subwoofer. So what I'm going to do is take it and hook it up to this subwoofer here that I built several years ago and see how it sounds with a little extra low end. With the subwoofer, that's a whole lot better. That's the sound that I'm looking for. If you'd like to build a subwoofer like this to pair with your bookshelf speakers, check out this video right here. I'm Justin, this is the DIY Audio Guy YouTube channel, and I will see you on the next adventure.